International student policies take center stage in Australia's upcoming election. Australia is heading toward a tightly fought federal election, with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's Labour Party facing stiff competition from the Liberal National Coalition, led by Peter Dutton. Here's a quick summary. Australia's federal election on May 3, 2025 is shaping up to be a close contest between the ruling Labour Party and the opposition. The opposition has proposed stricter controls on international student intake and a sharp rise in student visa fees. Australia is heading toward a tightly fought federal election, with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's Labour Party facing stiff competition from the Liberal National Coalition, led by Peter Dutton. With the vote just weeks away, polling suggests a neck-and-neck race between the two major parties. Immigration, particularly policies concerning international students, has emerged as a major campaign issue. This week, the coalition laid out its stance on international education, sparking debate across the sector. A press release from the coalition stated that, if elected, they would swiftly act to lower the number of overseas students in both higher education and vocational education and training (VET). The stated aim: to ease housing market pressures and make homeownership more attainable for Australians. Their plan includes cutting the number of new international student enrollments in public universities by at least 30,000 annually compared to current Labour policies. This would bring the cap to a maximum of 115,000 overseas enrollments in publicly funded universities and 125,000 across the VET, private university, and non-university higher education sectors. Want to take things to the next level? Subscribe to the paid plan and get everything you need to grow. Promote your business. Stay ahead with the latest global marketing tips. Book a one-on-one consultancy. Showcase your agency or campus. Share your best promos and loads more. It's all here, ready when you are. A percentage-based cap would be introduced in 2026 for public institutions, likely around 25%, although the final figure would depend on up-to-date data and discussions with education providers. The proposed reduction is expected to mostly affect metropolitan universities, especially members of the Group of 8, which the coalition argues have admitted too many international students. Proposed fee increases. Alongside the enrollment cuts, the coalition has proposed a dramatic hike in visa application charges. $5,000 for students enrolling at Group of 8 universities. $2,500 for other international students. $2,500 for students wishing to transfer between education providers while in Australia. Additionally, they plan to review the temporary graduate visa, subclass 485, to prevent it from being used as a backdoor into the labour market or a step toward permanent residency. Currently, applying for an Australian study visa costs $1,600, a significant jump from $710 in early 2024. By comparison, similar fees in Canada and the US are far lower, at roughly $172 and $299 respectively. Industry reaction. Pushback from education leaders. Critics argue the proposed policies could severely damage Australia's international education sector, a crucial part of the national economy. Claire Field, an education analyst, estimates that the coalition's proposed 25% cap would cut over 21,000 students from 2023 levels in public universities and about 29% from the VET and private higher education sectors. Universities Australia's CEO Luke Sheehy warned that such drastic reductions would severely impact one of the country's most lucrative export sectors, which accounted for more than half of Australia's GDP growth in 2023. Andrew Norton of Monash University questioned the legal framework needed to enforce such caps, suggesting that legislative changes may be required, changes that could face resistance in Parliament. Visa fee shockwaves. The proposal to raise student visa fees further has triggered widespread concern. With Australia already having the highest visa fees globally, further increases could deter prospective students and harm the country's reputation as a welcoming education destination. Vicky Thompson, CEO of the Group of 8, criticized the fee hikes as damaging and short-sighted, arguing that targeting top-ranked universities would weaken Australia's competitive edge. English Australia CEO Ian Aird echoed those concerns, warning that such fees could lead to widespread job losses and business closures across industries reliant on international students, including tourism, retail, aged care, and education. In 2024, the Labor government had already increased visa fees by 125%, leading to a 50% drop in applications to English language programs. A further 56% hike, Aird argues, could deal a fatal blow to that segment of the industry. A message to the world. Beyond economics, critics say the proposals send an unwelcoming message to international students. This plan says Australia doesn't want international students to study, contribute, or help fill critical skills gaps, said English Australia in a statement. They called on both major parties to prioritize international education and protect the more than 250,000 jobs the sector supports, more than twice the number employed in the mining of iron or coal.